Udhayanidhi Stalin, Tamil Nadu minister, son of the chief minister's, comments in a speech over the weekend about Sanatana Dharma, asking for it to be eradicated like malaria and dengue, has understandably sparked a big political fight across the country. It's forced many members of the new India alliance to step forward and condemn it as well. But it's become more than just political, it's become a big cultural talking point as well. I want to talk about it here on this special edition of the Democratic Newsroom with my colleagues Preeti, Nabila, and I'm going to start with Gaurav on this. Gaurav, what did you think about it? There is a debate now on whether it was hate speech or whether it was just about social history.
So it's more ill-informed discussion, basically, or a statement, because when you don't know much about the Sanatan Dharma, you talk about its eradication. But let's talk about, one, you look at it philosophically, the other way you look at it politically. Politically, you talk about eradicating the oldest civilized, surviving way of life in the world and eradicating it. Can you imagine any political leader getting away by saying, let's eradicate religion A or religion B or religion C? Can you say, let's eradicate Islam like dengue, or let's eradicate Christianity like dengue and malaria and cholera? And would he have survived? It's only because you have tolerant Sanatan Dharma followers in India that you can get away literally with murder.
Preeti?
What I think, what Udhayanidhi said, I think it's borderline fascist. I think to use terminology for any religion where you say that any religion needs to be eradicated, and then use words like eradicated like mosquitoes, malaria and COVID. Whatever the context that they might feel that it was said in, I think it's highly condemnable. It's fascist, but I do disagree on one account where haven't other political leaders gotten away with the same amount of bigotry and language against a particular religion? Yes, they have. I'll give you examples. 2 days ago, you had Swami Prasad Maurya who came out and said Hinduism is a hoax and needs to be shunned, which was just 2 days ago. Did we see the same amount of outrage? No. But having said that, let's just go a little bit back. Giriraj Singh, Kapil Mishra, who's right now the president of the Delhi BJP, Parvesh Verma at that point of time, the language that they used was as deplorable as the one used by Udhayanidhi. If anyone, because I don't want to say it because it's highly inflammatory on what the kind of language they used, so it has been used before. It's not that language such as this has been used before. The politics over dharma, the double speak over religion, is a political trope that has been exercised over decades. It's for us to understand on the play and the usage of that. When we come down to Sanatan Dharma and we come down to the argument on that, well, the fact is what Udhayanidhi said was wrong. But I'm a Hindu, a practicing Hindu. I follow Arya Samaj, which has come out of Sanatan Dharma. It was formed by, it's a movement, it's not like a religion sect. It was formed by Dayanand Saraswati, and the premise of that was also, it didn't, while we believe in the Vedas, we don't quite believe in a lot of text, which is also seeped completely in caste systems, which you don't believe in. So as much as I love my religion, I would think criticizing my religion, especially because I have the privilege of being a Hindu. And if you're a Hindu, criticizing isn't big blasphemy. And I should be allowed to criticize my religion. I would think I have the privilege of coming from a religion which is open to recalibration, which is open to reform. And yes, it's a steady process. The sheer fact, Shiv, that in this country, over decades, we've had conversions into Christianity by the Dalits, we've had conversions into Buddhism by the Dalits, have happened for why? It hasn't happened because they wanted to turn into Christians or Buddhists, right? Because we have a deep-seated caste system and a bias.
But is Sanatan Dharma synonymous with caste system? That's what a lot of people are taking exception to. It's not synonymous with caste system.
But the caste system is a part of Sanatan Dharma.
But then talking about eradication of the Sanatan Dharma doesn't mean
I'm not talking about
he could have just said the caste system then if he meant that.
No, no. 1 second. Dharma, what does dharma mean? Dharma doesn't mean religion in the Hindu context of it. Dharma means a way of life, where the Hindu context of it is concerned. So he could have said whatever. I think what he said was, like I said, it's borderline fascist. But to get into a conversation, oh, Sanatan Dharma doesn't believe in caste system. Of course it does. It stems from, there's a big part of it which stems from that. And why shouldn't we criticize it? That's all.
Okay.
No, I mean, for sure, there is caste system. There is there has been discrimination against caste, and it's been it's an eternal problem. But for Udhayanidhi Stalin to speak on the lines of Sanatan Dharma is like dengue, malaria, coronavirus. First of all, he holds a constitutional position. He should be very vary of the kind of words and the usage. And then speaking in a state where there are 70-80% Hindus, it's bound to hurt religious feelings. And what's a big takeaway from all of this criticism that's come his way, is that he remains adamant and defiant. And that's what's unfortunate, because you are an elected representative, and it's not just people aligning to your religion who have voted for you. I'm sure a large chunk of Hindus may have voted for him as well. They have not subscribed to views like this. And more importantly, what would have gone for Udhayanidhi Stalin to just say, hey, if I've hurt religious feelings, I apologize. That should have been his starting point. But he's been fully and wholly defiant, saying, what wrong have I said? I only referred to Sanatan Dharma as a caste hierarchy and caste system that needs to be eradicated. First of all, how is DMK the custodians of caste discrimination? Why are they the custodians? We're speaking of Udhayanidhi Stalin, who says, I'm a proud Christian. He comes from, he's not atheist, he comes from a religious background himself. And who said there's no caste system in Christianity? Who says there's no caste system in Islam? There is caste system in Hinduism, and we've all been fighting it. And I think one of the most prolific leaders within the Hindu religion itself, like Swami Vivekananda from the southern part of India, was one of those who came out and called out caste system in Hinduism. Just like you have leaders from several other religions. But what gives the right to Udhayanidhi Stalin to stand up and say, hey, I want to eradicate caste system, I want equality, and therefore I will equate Sanatan Dharma, which is believed to be an eternal duty, a way of life. I, being a Muslim myself, have always known Sanatan Dharma to be a way of life. One part of it that speaks of caste system, we should condemn it, just like how one part of Islam might speak of jihad. We do condemn it, but should anyone say that we should eradicate Islam? No. Should anyone say we should eradicate Sanatan Dharma? Absolutely not.
The caste system defense is what Udhayanidhi Stalin has been using to justify what he said. Like Nabila said, he's been defiant and he's constantly said it's about the caste system, it's about the caste system. But they're not synonymous, and that's why a lot of people are angry, saying if you wanted to talk about the caste system, and questioning the caste system, in my view, is necessary and wholly something that should happen on a daily basis, he could have questioned the caste system, but he didn't. He specifically chose to say Sanatan Dharma for a reason, in my view.
So it's politics. And I'm so glad, Nabila, you said what you did, because, you know, your understanding of the Sanatan Dharma and Preeti's understanding and Shiv, your understanding, it's very heartening to see it's so much more than Udhayanidhi Stalin, you know, because his understanding may be just political. And he's saying that for his vote bank politics. Sanatan Dharma is not about caste system. Caste system, it came into our society and it was a malpractice. Caste system, by virtue of the work you do, is something else. Caste system by birth, well, it's wrong. It shouldn't be there. As Preeti very rightly pointed out, Swami Dayanand Saraswati and the Arya Samaj, they've campaigned against it. And that's the way to move forward, because ultimately we are all Hindus. And where do you get it from? You get it from Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram. Nishad Raj helped him cross the Saryu River. And, you know, Shabri ke beer unhone khaye. So what does Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram's life teach us? It teaches us that everyone together to achieve the goal in life. And what does Sanatan Dharma teach you? It's not one book. It's a way of life that teaches you salvation or moksha. If moksha is your aim, clearly, you know, 100,000 Udhayanidhi Stalins cannot eradicate the Sanatan Dharma.
You know, Preeti, the use of the words, like you said, fascist, the words like dengue and malaria, that has made this hate speech and fascist. But if you look at the words about Sanatan Dharma, it's very aligned with what the DMK has said for a very long time. And also the implication, as some people have suggested, that this once again boils down to the Dravidian versus Hindi, South versus North divide that the DMK thrives on. That's what it finally boils down to. And it is the words used by Udhayanidhi that have taken this to the next level, and that's why it's become controversial.
You know, listen, what Udhayanidhi said, away from the inflammatory choice of words, is talking to his own core constituency. Perrier has said it. It's in his writings. But having said that, I'm not talking about DMK politics. But I'm also very, very aware of having the privilege of coming from a particular caste, and we must talk about it, which allows me to have this conversation very openly, where I do say that, it's churlish to somewhere down the line say that there is caste system, it's bad, but Sanatana Dharma is not about caste system. No, hell no. We are steeped in caste system. Look at everything, our politics, our social narratives, to even right now, what's happening right now in Maharashtra. It's on the boil. On what? On the basis of reservation and caste. Everything. Our social equity is based on caste system. So let's not be, in denial about the fact. And once again, to sit here and say that's wrong, that should be fought, it's all well and good to say it on television, right? Sanatana Dharma might be a way of life, and I say it is. Like, I might be an Arya Samaji, but it might be a way of life. And I respect those who follow it. But to not call out what's so deeply wrong with it, and I can call out because it's my privilege. Because of Sanatana Dharma being a way of life, there has been a way of life for the Dalits of this country as well. And that is why we have reached, this position. So to say it, in terms of embracing it, that there is something wrong with it, no. Hell no. I'm going to come out and I'm going to criticize what's really wrong with my religion because I get the privilege to do so. And it's not blasphemous. And it should be done publicly without, getting in and trying and defending it and be hypocritical about it.
Okay. So one, nobody defends what is wrong, and no Arya Samaji anyway would. But, if you're like really looking for reform and reform as a nation, then criticize everything that is wrong. Then don't pick and choose. And, if you're truly a reformer, then you're not bothered about, as Nabila said, there is caste system in Islam, there's caste system in Christianity. Call it out everywhere. Have the guts to call it out everywhere, and do not be selective about it. That is something that we really need to be very clear. We need to be very clear about it. Reform your country, and that is exactly what Sanatana Dharma is all about. Salvation for moksha. And when your caste system was there, your caste system was all about the work you did and not by birth. That's the society you need to move forward to.
I'm just going for my show because I'll just take a minute. The fact is, if you're going to call out, I'm going to stand here. What did I open my commentary with? That the word usage and what Udhayanidhi said was fascist. In the same breath, I've also counted 3 other instances where you had BJP leaders during a Delhi riot use language which was even more inflammatory than an Udhayanidhi. I just want open condemnation for all.
Yeah.
That's
okay. Now, going beyond the cultural,
Surely open condemnation to all, but what is really worrying here for me is that there's a anti-Sanatan conclave, a 2-day event that's been organized, a platform given for people to come and criticize Sanatan Dharma. That is worrying for a government, a ruling sitting government, to be giving a platform for anti or hate voices.
And seem to be part of it.
And seem to be acting secular. That's all the more hypocritical to me.
Okay, final word from both of you guys. Moving beyond the cultural and the religious argument, because we've all had our say on that, is also the political. And Akshita's just stepping in now. We've been waiting for her. The Democratic Newsroom never, proceeds without all our strength here. So she's going to be here. So let's quickly put the mic to Akshita also now. Akshita, we've just had a nice fiery little round here on what Udhayanidhi said. You, of course, have been talking to all the big stakeholders, both on and off camera. What did you think of what Udhayanidhi said? Is it justifiable in any way? What do you think about all the defenses coming in as well?
First of all, Shiv, I don't think any of us should be surprised by what's been said.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised at all.
Exactly. Yeah. If anyone out there tracks Tamil Nadu politics, you listen to the bites, they're largely in Tamil, which is why it's never really come out the way it has right now. It's very common. Yeah. It's very common to talk about Sanatana Dharma this way. It's very common to talk about Hinduism in this manner, and it's considered normal. Unfortunately, what's happened in Tamil Nadu politics, particularly for Dravidian politicians, is that their attack on the caste system has translated into an attack on Hinduism. Now, in this particular case, Udhayanidhi Stalin's bite was picked up by national parties, which is why it's led to this nationwide outrage, right?
But otherwise, he chose to say Sanatana Dharma. He didn't choose to say caste system.
Because for them, they believe it's the same as jati. It's the same thing. So you'll hear endless. This is not the first time. I can count at least 10 such instances of not just Udhayanidhi Stalin or Mr. Stalin himself making these kind of comments, and it's considered very normal. It's just gone viral now. It's become a talking point now. Does that make it excusable? I don't think so. But at the same time, to me, the DMK saying this is not new, not surprising at all.
Okay, not surprising at all. Okay, we have time for just a last couple of words. I'll get you in, Nabila. We've seen lots of Karnataka politicians jumping in because, you know, the people in Tamil Nadu are silent, apart from Karthi Chidambaram. But we saw Priyank Kharge jumping in, you know, quite quickly to say there was nothing wrong with what he said. So the pressure is going to be on the Congress party also now.
The science have to back one another. I mean, jokes apart, but Priyank, see what Priyank said isn't wrong, but what he's ignoring is the fact that they're equating Sanatan Dharma to caste hierarchy and discrimination. First of all, like I said, who gave the rights to Udhayanidhi Stalin to decide that I want to be the champion for to eradicate caste discrimination, right? He himself comes from a religion, says I'm a proud Christian, and that takes away from the essence of what he's fighting for. It completely takes away. No, what's not fine is that there is caste system in Christianity in Kerala even till today, and so in similarly even in Tamil Nadu. What are you doing to remove the dirt within your own religion?
So I think what's happened right now, Shiv, and to the point that Nabila has made is something everyone's made. So you've got Udhayanidhi Stalin now kind of saying that no, if there is discrimination in any religion, I'll call it out. But the whole narrative that, you know, these are atheists who are talking about Hinduism from a very, you know, stand-away point of view, that has been completely busted as well because it's not the case. At that same event that Udhayanidhi Stalin made this comment that, you know, Sanatan Dharma is this and that, there was a previous leader who came out and said that Hindu and Sanatana Dharma is the same thing. So that was followed by Udhayanidhi Stalin making this comment. So at no point did he not know that there's no difference between the two, right? It was an intentional comment. He didn't expect this backlash. That's very clear because today he's coming out and saying that discrimination in any form I'll oppose.
Very interesting.
A quick word about the India bloc that you asked me about. Of course, right now the India bloc is fully divided. The opposition alliance members, the Congress, Rahul Gandhi has maintained stoic silence. You have absolutely no comment coming in from any of the Congress biggies except for similar age group, where we say Karthi Chidambaram who's jumped in, Priyank Kharge who's jumped in to try and stand up for Udhayanidhi Stalin, but it's fallen so flat because they're really not addressing the core problem here, that you're calling caste system as Sanatan Dharma. You're equating something, it's almost saying like that every Muslim is a terrorist. It's almost saying that.
Gaurav, one of the fallouts of what has happened today is that a lot of people have been Googling Sanatan Dharma. People have been finding out, you know, I sort of know what Sanatan Dharma is, but I want to know exactly what it is, which is the reason why it's one of the most searched for words today, and it's been trending on social media as well. Do you think that's a good thing? More people should know what Sanatan Dharma is, and then they be in a position to, you know, judge whether they oppose it, study it, criticize it, whatever.
You know, the best thing that's actually happened is that the oldest living, surviving civilization of the world is being rediscovered. You know, so many other civilizations came and they went. The Sanatan civilization,
So
which the name incidentally is Sanatan. It's eternal. Started with time, will end with time. Beyond time, before time, after time.
You sound like so many Islamic, you know, the ustads who say, we are so happy people are dissing Islam. At least they're curious to read about Islam.
No, but that's not the point I'm making. And that's where I'm going even deeper. You know what is actually happening? You have, and since you talk about the India Opposition India Alliance, you have the National Conference in Jammu and Kashmir. A sitting member of Parliament of the National Conference in Jammu and Kashmir is Akbar Lone. The Supreme Court had to give him a dressing down. So this is an Opposition India Alliance where a Supreme Court has to give a dressing down to a sitting member of Parliament that you say that you have allegiance in the Constitution of India, you say that J&K is an integral part of India, because a member of Parliament and a member of India Alliance National Conference says Pakistan Zindabad. So India Alliance really needs to choose who their partners are. Somebody who says eradicate Hinduism or eradicate Sanatan Dharma, and somebody who says Pakistan Zindabad. Is that what India Alliance is all about? Is something that India Alliance will have to ponder very deeply.
India Alliance is not on board with this opinion unanimously. All of them are now, you know, you have so much of difference of opinion on this. So if this is the starting point, not too sure how far.
20 seconds because Akshita came in last. Do you think it's going to blow over? This will disappear now after a few days of fighting? Or do you think people are going to sink their teeth into it because it's Sanatana Dharma and
I
keep
have
it
a
as an
feeling in
election
the days to come, the Prime Minister is most definitely going to have a thing or two to say
Special
about this
session also
issue.
coming up.
Exactly. And I think that largely in the national narrative, it's going to be raised repeatedly because,
Okay.
you know, it's going to be used to polarize. In Tamil Nadu, I don't see it having
It
a
already has. BJP has said very clearly today, official statement that India bloc is an anti-India, anti-Hindu force.
Okay, so if you haven't Googled Sanatana Dharma, this is your time to do it. You must know what it is because only then will you be able to process the politics that's going to unfold from
Don't
here
preach,
on.
Shiv.
Yeah, but thanks very much to all of you for joining us. See you soon on Democratic Newsroom.